What's happening, everyone? My name is James Lynch, and this is Live with Lynch, the show that we do every Cage Titans event where I'm going to get a chance to talk to some of the fighters that are going to be competing at tomorrow night's Cage Titans 70 event. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you have any questions, post them in the chat. We will get to them once we speak to some of the fighters, or you can just post questions in general about the event. Really happy about this one. Of course, it's going down tomorrow night at the Plymouth Memorial Hall in Plymouth. You don't want to be missing this one. We got a really good main event between former UFC fighter Jay Perrin taking on the OG Cage Titans champion, Kenny Champion. A lot of good action. So again, we're going to be doing this on the fly like we've been doing every month. I really appreciate you tuning in. And we got our first fighter coming up here right now, Sterling Meacham. Really excited to talk to him. I'll be bringing him on here in just a second here. He's got a fun fight coming up here in the welterweight division. So really excited to talk to Sterling for the very first time. And I'm going to add him right here, right now. Looks like he's ready to go. Sterling, how are you, sir? How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I love it. I love it. I'm doing great too. Always good to talk to you fighters ahead of this one. So big fight here against Antoine. Just tell me a little bit about how this fight came together and just how excited you are to be a part of this really big event.
Oh, I'm very excited for it. I'll be honest. I came back from Japan, was looking for a fight, started training right off the bat. My coach got me in. I've been looking forward to it. I hear Antoine is coming in. I don't know, 6 years. I haven't heard what he's been doing, but he seems like a good fighter. I'm really excited to be able to, fight him. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. No, I bet. Is it one of those things too, where because there isn't a lot on him, you're kind of just focusing more on your skill set in this fight, not necessarily the opponent?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you always do a bit of analysis, do your own thing, but of course, your own skill set's the most important. So I've been working on my own shit for a while. Good.
Great to hear. Take me through camp a bit. Where are you training right now? Who've been some of the main guys that got you ready for this one?
Okay. Main things are I've got BJJ on MV. I do have my own coach over there. But the main person here is Cody. My coach Cody is able to get me through a lot of different things. Muay Thai, MMA, we've been going through that mainly. And a lot of wrestling, of course.
Okay, good. That's great. So a lot kind of going on there. And then along with fighting, you got a job on top of this as well? Like, how do you balance things going into a big fight like this?
Well, I've always made sure to be able to make at least 3 to 4 hours of my day to be able to do to commit to fighting or training or doing something like that. Even on top of my job, I'm able to figure out the timing no matter what. Besides, I live on an island, so commuting is probably the most annoying thing, but I do a lot of training on my own. Pretty good.
That's good. So when you're in the car and you're commuting, what are you listening to? Are you a podcast guy or got some music on? What's in the car?
I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I mean, I listen to a lot of sports physiology. I love all that shit.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I listen to a guy named Andrew Huberman too. He's a neurologist.
Oh, I listen to him too. Guy's a genius. I'm always trying to take little tidbits here and there from him and incorporate them into my everyday life. The guy's amazing. So anything you've taken from him that you're using, maybe used in fight camp or anything?
Oh yeah. I take a lot of things from him. Like in terms of like nutrition, he has pretty good information on that, like caffeine, etc. Being able to figure out how to be coordinating both your physical conditioning in terms of like calisthenics, how to be able to incorporate that. Almost all of it, along with like people like Phil Daru, Andy Dalton. There's a lot of good information out there you can use. But overall, I like to use my own stuff. I like to figure out how to be able to train on my own. So I use like a Bulgarian bag and do my own training there. I did a lot of weightlifting back in the day, and
That's good. Unconventional stuff. That Bulgarian, the weights and all that. It's not your typical, machine or whatever. So you're hitting those different muscles too, right? So you're kind of trying out some cutting edge stuff, which is good, right? I'm sure that's especially with MMA, right? Because the movements are not the same as what you'd have in the weight room, right? So I'm sure that stuff helps too, right?
Maybe able to work on your twists, your turns, all that. The spinning, it's very good with the Bulgarian bag. I did weightlifting for like 10 years. Not 10,
cool.
More years than that. But I guess I focused a lot more throughout the 10 years, and I was able to grow. But I find the Bulgarian bag as like one of the best ones that I could use.
Yeah, I'd say so. Take me through the cut went well. I'm assuming you seem like you're in a great mood. Everything going good there?
Oh yeah, the cut's good. I'm very happy because my friend, my gym mate, he was also able to make it. His cut went well. That's the main reason I'm very happy. I was always good. I'm always my cuts have always been good, so I'm good.
Well, I was going to say, if you were a gym rat before this, I'm sure the weight cuts, just part of the process because, you got, if you're disciplined in the gym, you can be disciplined with the weight cut, I'm sure, too. So that's
Definitely.
great. Early prediction for tomorrow night. How do you see the fight unfolding?
How do I do this? How do I do this? Ah, man, I don't really want to predict anything because my opponent, he hasn't been training he hasn't been doing stuff for a while, at least I can see. So it's hard to be able to make an analysis. But I see this. I mean, I could just see maybe a first round knock. I mean, it's
Okay,
a lot
that's
of
fine.
different things that be happening in that. I don't want to make a prediction yet. I want to just go in and have a good time with the guy.
See, what you should say is wait until you find out tomorrow night. That's you'll get the prediction there when you watch the fight, right? And if you can't make it to the venue, you can watch it on Spectation Sports. So there you go. That's the good teaser right there. Before we go, man, I noticed you got the nickname Bear. Where did that come from?
Oh, it's from my dad used to call me that before he passed away. So yeah, I decided to take it on, bring it with me.
And it stays with you in every fight, right? As they announce your nickname in the cage, right?
He'll be able to watch over me while I'm doing this. So yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Sterling, thanks for the time, man. We're looking forward to it. Welterweight fight tomorrow night, Cage Titan 70. You don't want to miss it. Best of luck with everything between now and then.
Oh, yeah, thank you. You have a good one.
There we go. That is Sterling Meacham, one of the welterweight fights on the card tomorrow night for Cage Titan 70. Again, my name is James Lynch. You see the handle there, at Lynch on Sports. You can always follow and check out everything I'm up to as well. We got Tyler in the chat. Anyone else in the chat, let it be known. I'll let you know who we're going to be getting next. Again, we just talked to Sterling Meacham, one of the welterweight fights on the card. So excited to do this on the fly like we do before every Cage Titans event. Shout out to Cage Titans, one of the best in the game when it comes to putting on great MMA shows. And this thing runs like an oiled machine. I love doing this, guys. It's fun. So yeah, if you're in the chat, let me be known. Obviously we're on Twitch, we're on X, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere. And looks like now we are going to be joined momentarily by Miguel Savicin. Excited to talk to him. Big fight in the lightweight division. He's going to be taking on Tom Santos, so he's just getting wired up here. But really excited to have a chat here with Miguel. Like I mentioned, one of the featured fights on this card, and looks like he's almost set up here. This is a great thing. You guys can't see, but I can. So I can tell you when he's going to be hopping on here short. And it looks like we are good now. Miguel, how's it going? Thanks for joining me here.
It's going great, my man. Glad to be back in the hall, getting ready for the next one.
Yeah, and you must be excited fighting Tom Santos. Obviously, really big fight on the card tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's a big card, and Tom Santos has a lot of experience, so it's a good step up in competition. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so that's something to be worried about-ish. But I've been working nonstop on grappling, so pretty confident.
And I know you're early in your career, but you must have been happy to fight a veteran like this that's got so much experience. Just, that always looks good on the resume if you can get a win over a veteran opponent like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, this will put me in higher rankings in the New England, I think. And then, sooner or later, I'm going to start facing bigger and better prospects.
For sure. Did you get a full camp for this one? When did you find out?
Yeah, we've known for a while. Supposed to be on the January card. My weight really wasn't in check. I got a nutritionist now working with Ross Turbo-Levine in the fight, dietitian. So Zach, so this camp, the cut was nice. Everything was a lot smoother. So just put myself as a professional now.
Good. That's good. Yeah, got to cover all bases when it comes to the fight game. And as far as camp, who are some of the main training partners that helped you get ready for this one?
Well, one of them is my teammate, Anthony King. He's an amateur. He's 1-0, so he's very fun to watch. People say that me and him, our styles are a little bit alike because it's very entertaining. Okay. My buddy Jack Congdon. Everyone knows that me and him are we live together. He's my teammate. He's my boy. Connor Holt, the Forge Jiu-Jitsu KO gym. My BCBC squad with strength and conditioning coach Chad Faria. Dan Savories and Joe Lozon, and then obviously my home gym, Lakeville MMA.
Okay, got everything kind of honed in. Have you always kind of had this setup as far as all the different training and different training partners, or have things been different at all for this camp leading into the fight?
I've always gone to different gyms to get different looks, but it's kind of the same thing that I've always done for every camp. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, I totally get what you mean. And then as far as Tom as an opponent, how do you feel like your style matches up against his?
I think it matches out in my favor. I mean, all my fights I always think like that. I have a strong mindset, so I always think that like you're not gonna take a fight that you're gonna lose. Like who does that? So I think it's in my favor.
You're still early in your career. Any part of you want to, take this to the ground and test the ground game out a little bit? Because I see you got 2 knockouts. You got the 1 decision win as a pro. I know you have a submission win as an amateur. Is that something you're looking to add, or does that not even matter? It's just about winning the fight. Doesn't matter how.
Just winning the fight doesn't matter how. I don't really have a game plan, to be honest with you. Everyone always films and studies, and I do a little. I just don't really like that part of it. So I usually let my coaches do it, and they tell me what I need to decide and work on and stuff. But like my strong suit, and everyone knows it, is striking. But I can grapple. I can grapple now, and I feel so confident in grappling. So like wherever it goes, and I'll just dominate in that.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned it there, putting trust in your coaches, letting them watch the tape, assess everything, because it's just one less thing you have to worry about if you're just focusing on your skill set too. And I'm sure as well, with the fact that you're so young in your career, your pro career, it is more about building and focusing on your things as opposed to worrying about what your opponent's doing, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good. Obviously, a lot going into this one. What about your corner? Who's going to be in the cage with you tomorrow night?
Same corner as always. Sensei John Miranda from Lakeville MMA. I have Joe Lozon, and I have my striking coach, Mike Avila.
Nice. That's great. What's it like having a guy like Joe in your corner? Obviously, a UFC veteran, someone that, has seen it all and can really, use a lot of that knowledge that he's had in his fight career to you.
Awesome. He knows so much, and he puts it in a calm manner in the corner. Everyone thinks going on, you got your face is all bloody. You got him punched in the face. He's like, all right, like you're doing good, but you need to do this. And he says it in a calm manner. And it's like, you understand? Like he really wants to make sure you understand what's going on and what I need to do to get that win.
Good stuff. Without giving out too much tomorrow night, how do you see the fight unfolding tomorrow?
My hand raised. So that's about it. I don't want to give too much.
There you go. Not to reveal too much. And then obviously, again, young in your career here, but another win here that would put you at 4-0. What does a win, especially a finish, do here for your career, in your opinion?
Just getting me closer and closer to what I need to do to get to the promotions that I want to get to. But I love Cage Titans, but everyone knows what the goal is here. It's the UFC. So, but you got to be patient. You just got to keep beating the people that are in front of you on the list. So,
yeah. Good words there. Well, Miguel, thank you so much for taking some time. We're looking forward to the fight tomorrow night. Best of luck, and thanks so much for joining me here on Live with Lynch.
Hey, thank you for your time, my man.
No problem. There you go. That is Miguel Savasan joining us here on the program. Going to be taking on Tom Santos tomorrow night. Tom, a veteran. I mentioned it there. Tom's got a ton of fights here. So he is 12-15 in his career. If my math is correct, I believe that's 37 fights, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot to sort of unpack there. Actually, my math is not good there. 27 fights, not 37. But Tom, obviously a veteran. And, that's what you got to do when you're young in your career. You rack up the wins, but then when you get that veteran opponent who's been in there with some of the best, it's very much, of a benefit too. So looks like we're getting John Medina next. He's going to be fighting in the bantamweight division against Phil Locino. So excited to talk to John here momentarily. So again, keep your questions coming in the chat. If you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, doesn't matter. I'll be answering your questions all morning here on the Live with Lynch show. And it looks like we got John ready to go now. Happy to be joined by John Medina. John, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. And yourself? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing great. I'm not going to be fighting tomorrow night, and if I did, I'd get arrested, so you get to do it professionally, which is great. But tell me how this fight all came together. How much notice did you get for this one?
About, I'll say, 10 days notice,
Okay.
Just excited to even get the call and get right in there. Try to just do better than what I did last time and just keep grinding.
That's great. Right place, right time then, I guess, right? Getting the call, and how did you find out? Phone call or email? How did you find out about the matchup?
Definitely got a message, talked to me about it, and like every other fight, I'm always interested, never back down.
Yeah, for sure. And just talk a bit about Phil as an opponent, your style against his. How do you feel like stylistically you match up against him here?
To be honest, I'm just hoping I get to let my hands fly and do some fireworks for this one. Everybody wants to go to the ground, so let's see. I've been working on my stuff, so trying to avoid all that and just go out with a bang.
Yeah, and I know you've been doing some boxing as well, along with some MMA stuff. Is that just whatever opportunities come about, you'll sort of take them, or have you been trying to get an MMA fight before this one?
I was trying to do some boxing and all that, but like I said, I like the best of both worlds. So whatever I got to do to make it happen, I'm gonna be going for it. Boxing, MMA, whatever combat sport.
Yeah. And by the sounds of it, this is a lifestyle for you. So when you get that short notice call, you're ready to go because you're already in the gym training. I'm assuming, like it's not like, you're just in the gym for camp. It sounds like you're doing this as more of a lifestyle.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I do. Like I said, I drive trucks full time. So being in the gym and working out, that's what I do. So that's why I'm always
such a contrast, I imagine, too, sitting in a truck all the time and then going to the gym and going hard. It must be nice to kind of balance it out, right?
Right. It has its, moments, but it all works out,
Yeah. No, that's great. So again, 10 days notice, you're always in the gym. What type of camp have you had and who have you had a chance to work with ahead of this one?
It's all my own people. Nobody really that's known. I try to keep it in the family, but just the same stand-up workout. Been doing a lot more wrestling, so hopefully I can show that on this fight.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's part of that too, just, family, people you trust. Sometimes you get training partners, you come in, they got some ego or whatever. These are people you can actually trust and know they're there to give you the best when you're training.
Right. No, that's exactly how it is. It's all family,
Good. That's cool. And then imagine weight cut went well. Everything's good there?
Oh, that's always well. That's never a problem. So, yeah.
Okay. In your corner, who will be in the cage with you for Saturday's fight?
It'll be my brother and my manager and all that. Just like I said, just extended family that I have on my side. I don't really have.
How many people are coming to the event tomorrow? You mentioned that the family seems to be very close to you. How many people are going to be coming to the show?
I'm expecting a good amount of people, but it's neither here or there. That's how I see it. They say they buy tickets. I believe it. That's how I go for it, and it'll show tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll worry about it at the after party. Without giving out too much here, how do you envision the fight playing out tomorrow?
I'm not a big talker on that, but like I said, I've just got to go out there and do my thing and just put on a good show. That's how I look at every fight.
Well, I think with your styles, this is going to be an exciting fight anyway, so I don't think anyone will be disappointed with that. And again, not looking past tomorrow night, but what's sort of the plan going forward? Is it just, again, whatever opportunity is best? I know you prefer MMA, but if a good boxing fight comes around, is that something you'd entertain, or do you just want to stick to MMA going forward?
Like I said, I'm an all-out combat person, so whatever opportunities there, I'm gonna go for it and just keep reaching for what my goal is.
What are some of your goals for this year? Is it just amount of fights? Is it maybe achieving a certain milestone within your career? Like what are some things you look at?
Definitely getting this win, and just keep going from there. Just trying to climb some ranks and not trying to look at my past and look behind. Just keep looking forward.
Yeah, that's a good motto in life, right? I think a lot of times we dwell too much on the past and don't look what's right in front of us, which makes sense. Okay, before we go, because you mentioned you're a trucker, I got to know, in the truck, are you listening to podcasts? What's getting you through the work day? Because I'm sure you're listening to something.
I listen to some podcasts. I listen to Joe Budden and stuff like that. But sometimes I listen to music, but it's mostly just me focused on the road.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, you're hauling a lot of stuff here, so you can't be, drifting off too much. Well, John, thanks a lot for doing this. Really appreciate it. We're looking forward to the fight tomorrow night. Thanks so much for joining me here.
I appreciate you. Have a good day. All right.
Yeah, you too. That is John Medina going to be taking on Phil Locino tomorrow night. Cage Titans, a bantamweight fight. Again, we're getting all the fighters here rapid fire, which is great. So I'll let you know who we're going to be getting next. My name is James Lynch. This is Live with Lynch, the show that we talk to all the fighters before every Cage Titan event. It's a nice, fun, interactive way for you, the fans, to ask fighters questions and also get an idea of what type of card we got going on tomorrow night. So really excited for this one. Again, main event tomorrow night. We got former UFC bantamweight Jay Perrin taking on Kenny Champion, the OG champ of Cage Titans, a bit of a veteran. Well, they're both veterans, actually, fighting each other, so it should be interesting here. And looks like we got Antoine going to be joining us here. We already talked to his opponent, Sterling Meacham, so excited to talk now to Antoine. He's just getting set up here, and then we'll get him on the program. So, again, this is a welterweight fight that's going to be featured on this card. He's got the headset on. We're ready to rock and roll. Happy to welcome on Antoine Caparata. Antoine, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. So we just talked to your opponent, Sterling Meacham. Looks like this is going to be one of the fight of the nights for sure on this card. Just tell me how this all came together with you fighting Sterling and taking this big opportunity here on Cage Titans.
Yeah, I haven't fought in 7 years. I used to fight for Cage Titans a lot. I made my pro debut with them 7 years ago, and I don't know. I was just in the gym. I was training. I was losing some weight, and I was thinking, it might be time to do one more. And I threw my name in. I guess he threw his name in around the same time, and they were like, "This is perfect."
Good. Okay, that's great. So, obvious question: what's been keeping you out of the cage for so long? Why'd you step away?
I'm an HVAC foreman. I was really just working on my career outside of fighting. I knew that I didn't want. I don't have any like aspirations to be in the UFC. I just like having fun fights, right? So, I had to do something to make money, though, right? So I had to focus on that, and it was keeping me away.
Okay, that's good. Is there almost less pressure that way? Because this is more of like a hobby for you. Some of these guys, they are trying to go to the UFC. So does it make it a bit easier knowing that, like, no matter what, you got a pretty good career outside of this?
Yeah, no, I'm doing this for me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, obviously I have people that like to come out, they like to watch, and I do it for them too. But like you just said, it's fun for me. I like to go out there. Obviously, I want to win, but it's not the end of the world if I come up short.
Do you think it's an advantage too that, again, you haven't fought in 7 years. There's not a whole lot of tape on you. Like, how good you are, but maybe Sterling doesn't. How much of an advantage is that? Because it's not like you're a veteran with a ton of fights that he could study. He could be stepping in there and facing someone he might not even be aware that he's fighting.
Yeah, so I have 9 fights total. So there's plenty of tape, I think, on me.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking I don't have a lot of tape on him. He only had 1 fight, and it was a couple of years ago. So I'm expecting both of us to come out look completely different than our last tapes, and I think that's going to make it more fun.
Yeah. No, well said. Take me through camp a bit. Who'd you get a chance to work with? Who helped you get ready for this fight?
Yeah, my main training partner, as always, is Zach DiSabatino. He's a real good pro for Cage Titans. I work with him every single day. Ryan White, my striking coach, I work with him every day. Really just all of the guys. South Shore is a really good gym. We have a lot of young guys coming up that make you have to stay a step ahead, because I don't want to get beat up by the new guys, but they're also good. We have a real good room full of training partners. I can't really single too many people out, but Zach is my number 1 training partner. We'll be in the gym until like 9 o'clock at night, still rolling, when everybody else is left. And it's helped me tremendously with feeling ready, but also with losing the weight.
How has this fight week compared to the last fight week 7 years ago? Because obviously things are a lot different now with MMA than they were 7 years ago. Yeah,
I feel like it's more of like a spectacle than it used to be. I used to kind of sit in the dark and just diet and then sauna, and then I'd show up to fight. But I feel like this week I've almost felt like I'm in the light a little bit. People are contacting me a lot. I'm doing all these posts. Cage Titans is sharing all these posts. My social media is getting all types of interaction. So I think it's completely different. Everything feels so different. It's like fresh, new. It's fun.
Yeah, it certainly adds to the fight for sure. Your corner, what's that going to look like tomorrow night? Who's going to be in the cage with you?
Yeah, so I'm going to have, as always, I'm going to have head coach Bill Mahoney there. He's the brain of the operation. Without him, none of us would succeed. Ryan White, my striking coach, and then Zach, my number 1 training partner. They'll be in my corner for this one.
And how do you see the fight playing out tomorrow night?
That's a secret. I can't tell you. We're gonna have a lot of fun though. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I think that he's gonna apply a lot of pressure. I plan on applying a lot of pressure, and I think it's gonna be fireworks from the first bell.
That's all the answer I was looking for, because you could always say exciting fight and then you're not revealing anything, unless you wanted to say boring fight and really throw them off, right? So that would be different. Is this just a one-off? You kind of mentioned here, you're coming back doing this for yourself. Does it all kind of depend on the outcome tomorrow night? Do you see yourself fighting after this, or is it just, see how the performance goes and reassess?
Yeah, so definitely I plan on reassessing. Right now, I feel like maybe another one at the end of the year.
Okay.
And then maybe that's my last one. I'm getting married next year, so I'm going to have a lot of planning to do. And so I might not be able to commit fully to fight camps, but at least one more at the end of the year is what I'm thinking now.
Yeah, at least get the wedding photos done ahead of time, and then
Absolutely.
because that's you can't have a bride with you don't have a black eye with your bride. Otherwise, people are going to start asking questions, Antoine. So there you go. Thanks so much for joining me here. Best of luck tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking some time here.
All right, thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. That is Antoine Caparota, who's going to be fighting Sterling Meacham tomorrow night, welterweight fight on Cage Titan 70. Again, make sure you check out the event if you're in town, in the Plymouth area. You want to go see that one live. Cage Titans puts on the best show in the Northeast. It's one of the best out there. And if you can't catch it live, Spectation Sports, your home for MMA. Definitely got to go watch it on there. You get all the great promotions that are on there. There's events almost every weekend, so you're really getting a glimpse of the future of MMA. When it comes to seeing what's on here. And we're happy to be joined by my next guest. Really excited for this one. I already spoke to him before this fight. I'm actually going to just announce who he is live here in a second as he's getting the headset on. Really, really, really excited to chat to my next guest because we spoke, I think it was last week. Joe Poirier. Joe, long time no talk. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How did the rest of camp go? Because I know when we spoke, everything was sort of going very smooth, and now here we are, just a day away from fight time.
Yes, sir. Camp went well. Weight cut went well. Weighed in at 130 on the dot for this catch weight. Yeah, just rehydrating, refueling now, and then time to perform tomorrow.
Yeah, it's great. We talked before about your opponent, Jean Patrick. Obviously, he's coming out of town. He's fighting in your backyard, so to speak. Just how excited are you to get this fight, and just talk a bit about the style matchup in this one?
Yeah, man. He real grateful. Mike found this matchup. Dude coming all the way from Brazil, high level gym. So yeah, I just can't wait to get in there and outclass this guy. I walk through him tomorrow, prove a point.
I don't know if we talked about this in the interview, but do you watch tape on your opponents? Or is that more like a Tyson thing where he's just kind of, look, I got everything on this guy. We'll implement this in the gym. You don't worry about it.
I like to watch as much footage as I can find, pick up on tendencies, things that I'll like to exploit in there. So I'm definitely watching film and seeing what he likes to do.
As far as we talked a bit about camp before, but just to let people know out there, who are some of the main guys you got to work with for this camp?
Yeah, I work always my main group of guys. I got Andrew Valdina, Connor Matthews, all the guys up at Cartel like Tom Pags, Chris Matinho. Got a lot of work in with Mitch Raposo he's leading up to his UFC fight at 314 in Miami. So we kind of worked out stylistically. I got a short, stocky guy. He's kind of got a long, lanky striker. So us working together all fight camp really paid dividends for both of us. So it's been a good one.
In your corner, who will be in the cage tomorrow night? I imagine the general, Tyson Chartier?
Yeah, of course. I got my manager and coach, Tyson Chartier. I got my coach that's been with me since the start, Pete Luciani, and my jiu-jitsu coach, Mike Bromberg, of course. So, yeah, we got a bunch of killers in the corner, and we're ready to put on a show.
What's it like getting to be with Tyson during fight week? Because I know he has sort of a good blend of like keeping things light, but also keeping things on track. He's definitely organized, keeping things going. Is that accurate, or do I got that assessment a little bit wrong? Because I know Tyson pretty well.
No, definitely. He's a seasoned pro in the coaching game. He's been at it for a while at all levels, all the way up to the upper levels of the UFC. So yeah, having that experience there in your ear is just a huge benefit to have, and definitely take advantage of that.
What's the best advice he's ever given you?
Best advice he's ever given me? I don't know.
Putting you on the spot here.
He has a lot of good words of wisdom. I'd say just making it a dog fight sometimes. I sometimes get a little too obsessed with landing the perfect shot or making things a little too clean in there and wanting to really show my skills. So sometimes you just got to get in there and make it a dog fight and get in somebody's face. So that really, I think, helped me my last fight and will help me through the rest of my career.
Is that what we're going to see tomorrow night, a dog fight? How do you envision the fight going down?
I see me going out there and hitting him with some hard shots early. He's notoriously a slow starter, and I'm notoriously a fast starter. So I see him getting hurt early and it being a quick one.
And we talked about this last time too in our interview. And by the way, if you want to watch the full interview, Spectation Sports got you covered. We had a really long chat last time we spoke. But the implications of a win here. Again, there's so many big opportunities here with a victory. I know you got the task at hand tomorrow, but I'm sure you got to think a little bit about that too, of what a win could do for your career here.
Of course, I'm always thinking about the next step. A win tomorrow would be huge, and every fight from here on out is just a calling up to the UFC and making my name be heard. So we're definitely looking at that on the horizon.
This is one you don't want to miss tomorrow night. My guest here, Joe Poirier, Jean Patrick. It's going to be a great one. Joe, thanks again, man. Really appreciate the time and best of luck tomorrow night.
Of course, thank you.
There you go. Joe Poirier, one of the big fights on this card, a catchweight fight at 130, taking on Jean Patrick from Brazil. If you don't know, Jean actually trains at Shootbox with Charles Oliveira. So, really, really, really good fight on this card. And implications for both, right? Joe gets a win here. If you look at his record, he's someone that is certainly going to be on the UFC's radar in terms of what he's been able to achieve in his career, with his record that he's sort of amassed so far. So he's 5-1. He gets a win here, 6-1, especially in the, he's mainly a flyweight. They're always looking to add new flyweights to those bigger promotions, so that's one thing to sort of keep in mind. So just waiting for our next guest here. Again, my name is James Lynch. Don't be shy, right in the chat if there's any questions you guys have. Looks like we're going to be joined by Phil here in a second. We already talked to his opponent here, John Medina, so really excited to talk to Phil. This is again another kind of sneaky fight that got added to this one in the bantamweight division, so you're getting a mix of everything on this card. We got a featherweight fight, 130-pound catchweight fight, we got the welterweight fight, another catchweight, and this fight as well, bantamweight fight. And happy to be talking here to Phil, who's going to be taking on John Medina.
I made weight. This guy didn't, and it's
okay.
funny.
Well, there we go. So yeah, let's start there, man.
I'm putting this on record and on blast.
Let's do it.
Even that, because he was such a good guy and took it on 10 days notice. Obviously, so you want to do a catchweight? They're like, nah, he's a flyweight coming up, so he should make weight. Fucking asshole comes over 2 pounds extra. Meanwhile, I'm killing myself to get the 35 champ weight, but it's all good in the hood. Still the same outcome. Still gonna smash this dude first round. See you later. But at least I get to sit down and talk with you big time. I don't know if you remember we
of course I remember. Yeah. Listen, when I saw you on the list, I was like, okay, we got something. We got a good chat lined up here today, Phil. I always appreciate you making time.
Of course. For you, big time? Of course.
Oh, are you kidding me? Just because I got a suit on, man, we're the same here, Phil. We're the same. You always make my job easy too, by the way. So I don't have to say too much. But short notice, right? So were you always on this? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know exactly. I know kind of been your thing.
Time we talked.
Yeah. Was this short notice? Was this short notice for you as well, or was it? Because I know John took this on short notice. Okay.
No, I was getting ready for Will Smith, and it was going to be my toughest test yet, which I was getting ready for. I was killing myself like weight-wise. I killed myself in the gym. You know what I mean? Like getting ready for him because he's a good dude. He's really talented. And a week ago, something happened. I don't know. I didn't get the full story. He's sick, even though he's right over there. I guess he's not that sick. But he couldn't make it. So they got this guy on 10 days notice. And like I said before, I was like, oh, you want to do a catch weight? Because I don't really care about the weight. Like, if I leave here right now and someone wants to smoke, I ain't going to put a scale to their feet. They go, how much you weigh? Exactly. I get it on right there. This weight, it's only like formality. So when the UFC comes looking at me, they know I can make 135.
Yeah. Well said. Did you know much about John before taking this fight?
No, I just know he's going to get smashed. That's all I need to know. Because the guy I was getting ready for was a really good wrestler, really tricky striking, just all-around mixed martial artist. And the only thing I really know about this kid is he's one of those let's stand and bang. So when you say that shit in the MMA world, like, oh, let's just stand, you kind of already just told me what you don't want to do.
Right.
Sorry, buddy.
Okay. Take me through camp a bit. Who'd you get to work with this time around?
Same as last time. My two world-class coaches, my striking coach over at Sityodtong, Somerville, Andy Cote, he was taught by the legendary Mark Delagrati. So I'm just getting that lineage of knowledge passed down to me. And for my grappling, the John Red Velvet Clark over at Broadway Jiu-Jitsu in South Boston, just sharpening up those tools. Because if you really look at my tape from an amateur to a pro, my grappling game has gone through the roof. And I'm a striker. realistically. But I'll get you any way I can. Whatever you're not good at, that's what we're gonna do because it's MMA. It's not like any other sport.
Yeah, got to hone in on everything. Again, not looking past tomorrow night. Do you want that fight with Will Smith rebooked, or are you kind of looking past that at this point, just to kind of keep things going?
At this point, I just want someone to fucking show up. You know what I mean? Like, give me 8 weeks to get ready for this particular opponent. Let it be, a level up in competition. Because I gotta build my resume. I can't just keep taking, certain fights that we don't want to be rude about. But it is what it is. It's part of the game. Still got to get past him because foreign gloves still foreign gloves at the end of the day. But dude, anybody that's not gonna pull out, let me just fight them. I don't care what your name is or whatever. Just this is the weight. You can do a catch weight, a regular, whatever fucking weight. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna make the weight. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna show out. Just anybody that will show up. That's it.
That's the bare minimum. Bare minimum. Just show up and take the fight. What are your goals for this year? Do you have anything in particular you want to achieve, whether it's amount of fights or anything along those lines?
Oh, definitely a certain amount of fights. I'm trying to get at least 3, 4. Because 31, I'm 2-0 in my pro career, about to make it 3-0. So I want to keep that ball rolling. I don't want to be too old to not, in Dana's eyes, too old for the Contender Series and all that. But realistically, like, that's just me, like, being egotistical, but, like, humbly so. I just want to enjoy this journey and take as many fights as I can. And if it does take me to the Contender Series, fucking GFL, I don't care. I know that when I'm done with this, because I'm all in. I'm taking layoffs from work, only working part-time, just enough to get my training in to do this full-time, even though I'm scrapping, literally living like a pro fighter. And I got a good job. I'm in the labor's union, but I'd rather do this. With that said, I know when I'm done with this, I'm going to have one cool fucking story. And y'all going to remember the Bambino.
Absolutely. By the way, we got our guy Andrew Mack in the chat here saying, Phil, my man. So a lot of support. By the way, because I know, again, this fight kind of came together. What type of support are you expecting tomorrow night?
Oh, huge support. See right here, this middle row?
Yeah.
Right there where my finger is? That's all the Bambinos. That's the Bambino section, right?
Bambino
so
section.
I got my fans, right? Probably got like at least 100 people just in that corner with my face on a stick, all different expressions. So when I win, I point over there, and they're gonna be rocking in that section. And hopefully, the next time I come here, we get the more sections, and then this whole thing would be a bunch of Bambino heads just going crazy.
Love it. That's great. You got to tell the cameraman to get a couple shots of those tomorrow night. At
yeah.
There'll be some good visuals there.
Fight, and the girl was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Get my mom, get my mom." She's the one holding them. She's the one that makes them. She's my biggest fan. Shout out to Mom if you're seeing this. I love you.
That's good stuff. Mother's Day coming early. That's great. Phil, thanks so much for doing this. We're looking forward to it tomorrow night. Always appreciate you making time, man. Take care.
You too, big time.
Yeah. Anytime, Phil. Take care, dude.
Also, do not forget to subscribe to Spectation Sports. You do not want to miss this.
That's your home. That's your home. You got to watch. There we go.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, no, we're good. Sorry, I booted Phil out of there a little early, but there we go. Always appreciate my man, the Bambino. Phil, you got to check it out tomorrow night. Bantamweight fight against John Medina. Again, keep the questions coming. Andrew Mack, happy to have you here in the chat as always. He's a veteran when it comes to these live chats we do all the time. So I'll let you guys know who we're going to get next. We've already spoken to a number of fighters on this card. Joe Poirier, Miguel Sevison, we got Sterling Meacham and Antoine Caparata. Already spoke to all of them. John Medina and Phil Lusingo. So lots going on. It looks like we got Jean Patrick going to join us here shortly, all the way from Brazil. Already had a chance to speak to him a few weeks back. So this is going to be a good fight against Joe Poirier. Again, Jean Patrick looking to get that first win on North American soil. Huge opportunity for him here as he's going to be fighting for Cage Titans, and he's just getting set up here in a second, and then we'll talk to him. But I want to know how the travel was and everything else getting over here and making his Cage Titans debut. Jean Patrick, what's up, man? Long time no talk. How are you?
Brother. Yeah, man, long time. So I'm here in USA. I'm ready for the fight, so that's it.
Let's go. Yeah. Tell me how the travel was to get over here. When did you get in?
Man, so a big travel, so almost 15 hours, but it was good. And just recover a little bit. And then tomorrow start to cut the weight. And this morning I cut like 2 kilos. And then
Good. So everything went well. How did the rest of camp go after we spoke? I know we spoke just last week, but sounded like everything went well with camp leading into this fight.
Yeah, it was good, so I have to work hard for this fight, I was training hard, and then when the fight confirmed, I keep training hard, and that's it.
Obviously a big opportunity here for Cage Titans. Did you, who did you end up bringing with you for your corner? Who's with you this week in Plymouth?
Yeah, I bring Raposinha, it's my friend, so it's a black belt jiu-jitsu. It's a man. He has like 30 fights, professional fights, so it's so good. And that's it. I just bring him because he helped me too much for this fight, and that's it.
Good. That's great. What does it mean to represent your gym here in North America? Shootbox, obviously one of the best gyms in the world. You're here fighting and representing them. What does that mean to you?
Man, this is it's a pleasure for me to represent Shootbox here, So Shootbox is my family, So we every time we're gonna fight, we're gonna put the Shootbox in the gloves, So put on the heart and represent how is the Shootbox, So every time we keep and look for the fight, no matter where the fight happen, we can strike, we can jiu-jitsu, wrestling, so we'll be good.
And I got to ask as well, we didn't get to talk about this in our interview, but how much have you learned from Charles Oliveira? Obviously one of the best to do it, and someone that I know has had a lot of success coming from Brazil to America to fight for the UFC.
Sorry?
I said, how much have you taken away from Charles Oliveira?
Charles, right now Charles is too busy, so this time he didn't come to help me, but
okay,
he sent a message, so he give me a good energies, but not coming to train with me, because right now he was traveling not too much with his family, and that's it.
Okay, that's fair. Have you seen your opponent yet? Have you seen Joe Poirier yet since you've been here?
Yeah, I saw him here.
That's good. And just how excited are you to get to fight him? Obviously, he's got a good record at 5-1.
Sorry?
I said, how excited are you to fight him tomorrow night?
Man, I'm not so too excited, So for sure, I'm excited to fight, but man, everything's gonna be good. My mind is too fresh. I know exactly I need to do in the fight, and I will win, man. I will win, no matter where. I will win. So that's it.
We were talking about this in our last interview, but the plan is to get more fights in North America. You think just keep active, get more opportunities?
Yeah, for sure. I will get, man. So, man, you guys will see. You will see how I fight. So for sure, he's gonna invite me to come here again and fight again and again and again.
That's great, Jean. Thanks so much for doing this. We're looking forward to it. You, Joe Poirier, tomorrow night. Thanks for making time.
Thank you, sir. Have a good time.
There you go. John Patrick, big fight tomorrow night against Joe Poirier to the New England Cartel. One of the big feature fights on this one, a catchweight fight at 130, but Jean coming all the way from Brazil, and I mentioned it there, trains at the famed Shootbox Gym. Also 100 Muay Thai fights. This guy has got a lot of credentials coming into this one. So one of the few fights he's had, though, in the U.S. So we'll see if he's able to reign supreme in enemy territory tomorrow night as he takes on Joe Poirier, the fan favorite here. And looks like up next, we're going to have Jake Hicksonbaugh. He's going to be taking on Gary Manus in a catchweight fight tomorrow night. So really excited to talk to Jake and get his thoughts on his fight coming up here. He's getting the headset on. They're getting him set up. Again, I get to see the stuff you guys don't. So again, keep the questions coming, everyone. If you're in the chat, we'd love to hear from you, but happy to be joined by my next guest, Jake Hicksonbaugh. Jake, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Tell me how this fight all came together, with you fighting Gary.
Dude, this is so I was originally supposed to fight Dion Rubio, and he pulled out with a broken hand like a week and a half ago. And then the name Jerry came up. It's been a fight I've always wanted back, so I obviously instantly took it. And then he started doing his stuff with, like, I got to see if my dancers are ready, all this little stuff to try to play with the head. So I honestly didn't know if I was fighting him for the longest time until like this past week. So it took a while to even really get this fight fully lined up, just even in terms of like negotiating weight and all that, the closer it got, we ended up agreeing on a little bit heavier of a weight. But yeah, I'm just glad that he took it.
Okay, well, we got a question here from Andrew. He says, what did you think about Jerry's fight announcement skit?
Honest opinion, I think this skit's stupid, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Okay.
I'm not one of those skit guys, but I respect
You're all
it.
business.
I like how he does that stuff. He's a cool guy. He's not a disrespectful dude, but yeah.
Not your thing though. Yeah, makes sense. Take me through. So you guys already fought, is what you were sort of alluding to there, right? Take me through what happened in the first fight.
It was so I was 2-0 at the time. He was 1-0. Both undefeated, new in our career. I had gotten pretty badly sick right before the fight, but obviously I'm gonna fight through that. And then I fought kind of stupid, whole lot of output with grappling, which made it kind of ruin my cardio. But he ended up getting me. It was kind of a weird stoppage. He was even like, "What?" I don't know. It's always been something I've wanted back. Gave me my first loss. He's actually the only person I've lost to in New England. So
Okay,
it'll be good to get this back and then fire at some of the big guys up here.
Okay, cool. Take me through camp. Who'd you get to work with? Who helped you get ready for this fight?
So my main training partner, Jake Bone, he's a legend up here in New England. He fights anyone up here. He's fought all the top guys. He's always been my main training partner. Also, Kevin Carrier, it's a guy who's fighting also tomorrow at a different show in LFA. He's another pro 55er that I get a good amount of work in. Just all the people over at Bone MMA, Shinobi MMA, Synthesis. Just there's a whole group that we got rolling with, But I'd say those two are my biggest helps in camp.
And what about your corner? Who will be in the cage with you tomorrow night?
So my coach Jacob Bone, my coach Jamie Fryer. Those two have been my coaches since I've started this at 17 years old. And also one of my best friends, Anthony's going to be in my corner now. I had one of my corners fall out. So this is a kid I've been wrestling with since day one. And now he's Cortland wrestling coach. So, I got some pretty good accolades in my corner, a couple black belts, a high-level wrestling coach, and, we're ready.
How do you see the rematch going down? What's your prediction?
I honestly, wholeheartedly think I'm going to knock him out. I think that my striking right now and my setups and everything, I just got to be patient in there. I just got to be smart in there. And when I do that, I know I can beat him and beat, honestly, basically anybody out here. So I just can't wait to show that and get my respect tomorrow, and everybody's going to know.
Before we get out of here, what does a win here, especially a finish, do for your career?
It gets me back on track. It puts me back at, one of the top guys in New England. And I'll have some names in my call outs right after too. I'm going to come for all the fan favorites out here. I'm not here to make any friends.
Got all bases covered. Jake, thanks for doing this, man. Best of luck tomorrow night. Appreciate you making some time here today.
Thank you.
There we go. Jake Huxenbaugh going to be taking on Jerry. I think I said Gary. Jerry Manus. Mius tomorrow for Cage Titans. Catchweight fight, a little bit of bad blood there just because they have some history, and obviously Jerry doing the skit to announce the fight, so should be interesting. Again, another feature fight on this event tomorrow night, Cage Titans 70. Again, you definitely don't want to be missing that one. If you go check it out live, I highly recommend it. Plymouth Memorial Hall, Plymouth, Massachusetts. If not, we got you covered over here on Spectation Sports, your home of MMA, not just Cage Titans, all types of promotions every weekend, all types of stuff going on here. So just waiting for Jerry to get the headset on here, and happy to talk to him because we just talked to his opponent. He's just getting the mic set up here, and then we'll get ready to rock and roll. Jerry, how's it going, man? I appreciate you making some time here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the suit.
Oh, thank you. One of us has got to dress up here. I got to actually look like I have a job here, so that's why I'm wearing the blazer. But we just talked to Jake. I know you guys. There's some history between you two with the first fight. Tell me how this fight all came together.
Yeah, so he was originally supposed to fight Dion Rubio. The fight fell off. They asked if I was interested in fighting last minute, and I took some things into consideration, and I was like, why not? Um, so here we are. Just
Yeah.
weighed in.
Looks like everything went well.
Yeah, weigh-ins. I mean, we did a catch weight, so
Yeah, a little bit easier than making the mark.
Yeah, I didn't even really have to cut weight. So.
Oh, cool. Okay, well that makes it better. Take me through the skit. I know you did kind of a big announcement when you told people you were taking the fight on. We just talked to Jake. I think his sort of overall assessment was, he appreciates the effort, but not really his thing. But take me through the thought process of making the skit about announcing this fight.
Yeah, like I kind of use that as it's like a piece of comedy and a way to announce the fight, and also take away some of the seriousness of the fighting, right? Because the skip we posted, and if you guys want to see it, it's on the Cage Titans Instagram.
Yeah, go check
it out.
And
it kind of shows like the Spider-Man getting a call from Mike, and then he's been training to take on just about anybody. And it's because I really don't do a lot of MMA. Like I do jiu-jitsu classes, I do some training on my own, and I work out. And so I do kind of feel like I am prepared to fight most people, because you guys know I'm in the military and whatnot. So I do a lot of training to just kind of be a dangerous person in general. So if I had to encounter any kind of threat, I'd be ready. MMA just kind of narrows that spectrum of what you need to be dangerous in, because you could be like the best shooter in the world, but that won't help you in an MMA fight.
No.
And then vice versa, you could be Islam Makhachev, and if you got thrown into Ukraine, you could be dead in a day.
It's true. Got to be well-rounded. That's important. So obviously we mentioned it's a rematch. Where do you feel like Jake has improved since your first fight? Obviously that was a while ago.
He's gotten a little bit older, I think, and he's getting more to that like grown man. And yeah, I think he's mostly focused on his grappling over the past couple of years. However, I would say, if you look at since we fought, he's only won one fight. And like when we fought, we were both 2-0, undefeated. And the big difference that you'll see now is I feel like is the confidence. Because when we fought before, we were both 2-0. He had been fighting pretty actively into amateur, transition to professional. He was 2-0 as a pro. I was 2-0 as a pro. But I had done one fight, and I hadn't fought in 5 years, and I twisted that guy, and I got lucky. And then they were kind of like, oh, I'm his first real test, so we'll see what this guy's about. And I wasn't even training that hard. I was kind of like, oh, if I can beat this kid, I'll keep fighting. If not, then, the fun's over. And so before, I think the biggest thing would be like the mentality, because I would suspect he's not coming in here as very confident as he was before. Like when he was like that 2-0, 2 finishes. All right, I'm going to get this guy. Because since then, he's only won one fight, and it was against I had fought also. And he's been finished 3 times, and I've never been stopped. So I think he knows he has a hard fight in front of him. The big advantage for him is like he already fought me. He already lost. He was ready to fight. So he has nothing to lose. Whereas I have more to risk because I already beat him. If I beat him again, it doesn't really elevate me as much. And I just think that the bonus for me is the activity. I haven't fought since September, which isn't a crazy long time, but I think like that's a good. And I wasn't like out of shape by any means. I would say I might not have been as sharp as I could have been, but that's the nature of taking a short notice fight.
Yeah. Well said. I've got a quick question here from Andrew. He says, I remember you being disappointed in your first fight with Jake. Even though you won, do you feel you have something to prove because of that?
I think that I can be more analytical now with this fight. because I don't feel like I have something to prove, honestly, because now I'm still kind of stepping in on short notice. So if I don't have the performance I wanted, then I guess maybe that was the factor, is the short notice. And I do think that doing the catch weight gives him more the advantage than it did me, even though I did it on short notice. Because I think my last the last two fights were at 45 and then 50, and now we're doing 65. So, and like his last fight was at, he did a grappling match at 85, and I never get that heavy. So I think doing the catch weight made it easy for me to schedule it in, but I think it gives him the advantage.
What's your prediction tomorrow night? How do you see it going down?
I think an exciting fight, and I don't think it'll be any different than the last time.
Gotcha. Could have kept with the Spider-Man theme and said something like, "He will get tangled in my web" or something like that. Anyways,
that's more Spider-Man's line, but
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, you kind of, yeah, exactly. I guess that makes sense. And then, you know, obviously after this, is the plan to just, you know, keep active, whatever, like you said, like you're sort of doing this as, you know, like a side thing. Is it just, if a good opportunity comes around, you'll take it? You're not really in a rush to get back in there after this one?
No, I guess it would depend on how the fight goes. I feel like I can bring more entertainment the bigger notice I have to prepare. So after this fight, if we could talk to Mike and maybe set something in advance, because you guys know how I love to do the promos, promote the fight, and I love a fight that has like a story behind it too, right?
Of course,
it's
like pro wrestling a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and a little bit of a story to kind of make the fans excited to see the fight, and also like you want to have like relatively interesting matchups that have the competitiveness. Because the unique thing about this fight, right, is that we both fought almost exactly 2 years ago. And we've both, stayed active fighting and competing. So the unique thing about this is we both get to test each other against ourselves to kind of see who's evolved over the 2 years, regardless of preparation for the fight. It's more of a test of like who's grown and evolved. Because obviously I'm 106, so I can't keep fighting like this forever. And he's 26. So I think if he gets beat by me again, it kind of like cements himself as that he's hasn't really been able to evolve. And now he's sub 500 fighter. So it kind of puts him in a tough spot to see if he really has a future in this game.
I would agree. A lot at stake tomorrow night. Jerry, thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate you making some time, and best luck tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. There you go. One half of the catchweight fight that's going to be taking place tomorrow night. Jake Hicksenbaugh and our guest who we just had there, Jerry Meuse. So these two fought already. Jerry getting the win about 2 years ago, as he mentioned there. And they will be rematching tomorrow night. So a lot of good fights on this card. Like I said, still got the main event. You definitely don't want to miss that one. Kenny Champion, Jay Perrin. We'll see if we'll get either of them on here. But we've talked to pretty much everyone else on this card. John Medina, Phil Lusingo, the Bambino, talked to him already. I mentioned Jerry and Jake. Sterling and Antoine, Sterling Meacham and Antoine Caparota spoke to both of them as well. Miguel Savison spoke to him along with Jean Patrick and Joe Poirier. So just waiting for a few more people here. Again, appreciate you joining us here. Keep the questions coming in the chat, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, doesn't matter. We're everywhere here today on Live with Lynch, and really happy to be talking to one half of the main event, the OG Cage Titans champ, Kenny Champion. Really excited to chat with him again. I guess a big opportunity for him as he takes on former UFC bantamweight Jay Perrin in a featherweight fight. Jay moving up a weight class, so we'll see how that looks. And wasn't that long ago I spoke to my next guest, and always a pleasure getting to speak with him. Makes my job really easy because he's always got a lot to say. Kenny Champion back here on Live with Lynch. Kenny, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome. So it's fight week, day before the fight. How did everything go since the last time we spoke? Again, big opportunity for you and for Jay tomorrow night for Cage Titan 70.
Yeah, everything's been going well, man. Training camp, everything leading up to the fight has been good, and it's just one more thing left to do. One more wake up. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about this. Yeah.
Well, one of the things we talked about too, you're getting a big opportunity here, right? The main event, and you're a guy that is grinded away and done quite well in your career. Are you getting to enjoy this, soaking it all in, like that you are headlining this card tomorrow night against Jay Perrin, a former UFC vet?
Yeah, this is my first time ever being able to be a main event at anything, so I'm really excited about that, and I'm not too concerned about the hype. He's another opponent that's in front of me, and yes, I do know he come with a lot of accolades, but this is my time.
How is this fight week compared to the last fight week you had? Obviously, you fought. Your last opponent had a obviously a big fan base. Jay, same sort of thing. Or has it felt similar this fight week compared to your last one?
Yeah, it's felt similar. Everything's been the same, and we just been coasting. Got right back to training within maybe a week after the Greg Jones fight, and we knew about this one, so we had plenty of time to prepare ourselves. And nothing's changed. The formula hasn't really changed much. It's just going with the flow and being ourselves when we get inside of there tomorrow.
How do you feel like your style matches up against Jay's in this fight?
Styles make matches, right?
Yeah.
I think it matches up great. We'll be two guys standing up in the air, giving the fans what they like, a nice stand-up match until it goes to the ground or one of us wants to take it to the ground. So, yeah.
And what do you make about him moving up? He's fought at bantamweight primarily throughout his career. This is featherweight. What do you make of him, making the jump up?
Well, I don't think it'd be much of a challenge to him. He's fought a few guys already at 145, so yeah. I don't think it'd be too much of a big difference from him. But we'll just wait to see what's going to happen. I'm not a big person, to talk like that, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things kind of unfold. And remind me again, who made the trip with you? Who's in your corner tomorrow night?
So I have Will Smith, longtime friend, ex-trainer partner of mine. He's always my road dog, taking any trip up to Plymouth. And I have my two coaches, Russell Leak and Kia, coming in tomorrow to corner me. So yeah, I have a good team, and we've just been staying with the same formula, same game plan throughout this training camp and the last one. So yeah, everything's been working good, and just the way it's supposed to be going.
And how's the fight unfolding tomorrow night? Last fight, you didn't need much time at all. So how are you seeing this one unfolding?
It's going to unfold the same way the last one unfolded, with my hand being raised at the end of the day.
And we talked about this in our interview. And by the way, if you want to see the full interview, go check that out on Spectation Sports, your home for MMA. I mean, a win here would be big for you, right? You beat a UFC veteran. That's getting you on the radar of all these bigger promotions here. How do you think of that, possibility without looking past this fight as well? Because I'm sure that's got to be on your mind a bit, just the opportunity at hand tomorrow night in the main event.
Actually, I don't think about it. I just take it one day at a time, one fight at a time. Whatever comes after that, then I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I'll be ready to dance as well. So I don't get too caught up in the hype of things, or what's gonna happen, when it comes, it's coming, and it's meant to be for me at that moment and at that time. And that's what's working in my favor right now as we speak, everything.
And is that a mentality you've always had, or does that come with age? Because I know as you get older, you kind of look at things a little bit differently.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
This is just something that I know within me and that I'm confident in. So yeah, that's how I like to look at things. Everything that's happening in my life right now is supposed to be happening even to this day. So yeah.
Well said. Kenny, thanks for doing this, man. We're looking forward to it. Main event tomorrow night, Kenny champion Jay Perrin. You don't want to miss it. And again, you can watch that live on Spectation Sports. Kenny, good talking to you again, and hopefully we'll be talking before the next one.
You don't want to miss it tomorrow, man. Stay tuned. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, there you go. Kenny Champion, one half of the main event, going to be taking on Jay Perrin. I mentioned Jay moving up a weight class, going to be fighting at 145. So, yeah, really good stuff from Kenny. Of course, last time, what was it, 48 seconds, I think was his last win over Greg Jones. Goes in fighting a really big fan favorite in Greg Jones, and Kenny Champion making short work of that one. Yes, it was 48 seconds. So there we go. I got a good memory here. So that's great. But, yeah, Kenny always bringing the action. And Jay Perrin, same thing. I mean, again, Jay, can't say enough good things about Jay and just his accomplishments, his pedigree, everything else. He's done such a great job throughout his career. He's been in there with some of the best. So good test here because, Kenny's the older fighter, but Jay's obviously got more experience. So I'm really excited to see how this one kind of unfolds here. And looks like we got the Joker here. It would be very fitting. We just talked to Kenny Champion. Now we're talking to his opponent, Jay Perrin. He's got the cool pirate shirt on and the backwards hat. Wouldn't expect anything else from Jay Perrin. One of my favorite guys to interview. And looks like we got the Joker on right here, right now. We're going to bring him on. We just had Kenny Champion. Now we got Jay Perrin, the other half. Jay, what's up, man? How's it going?
What up, James? How we doing, dog?
Doing great. So how did everything go? We spoke, a week or two ago? How did the rest of camp go leading into this one?
Oh, camp went perfect, man. Couldn't have asked for a harder push towards the end. We got Joe, we got my coaches, Zach, and the team all pushing me towards the end.
There you go. I think we're good. Unless something just exploded.
A whale just died in the building.
I know. Hopefully it's
odd.
no whales were killed. Yeah.
Yeah, but the camp has been great, man. The cut was easy. You know what I mean? Woke up.
Yeah.
Was totally fine. I got to spend time with my baby before I, finished up.
Awesome.
Everything was good. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like, how different has this camp been? Not having to worry about the weight cut as much. I mean, even looking at you right now, you look really healthy. So you got to be feeling good going into this fight.
So I do, man. It's not like it's an easy cut still. Like there's still work to do for this. Like I bulked up to about 171 pounds when I started. So I'm walking a little bigger to make this not like, I wake up on weight. When I fought Chris Makate at 45, I woke up at 145 pounds. Today I had to cut 10 pounds. So like I still have proper cut, but I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like I didn't suffer during any of that. The method that I use or the dietitians that I use at the fight dietitian people have really given me a method to get my weight down. So I don't think 35 is in the cards, but 45 seems to be a really nice place for me to be at.
Yeah. And again, how much different was this camp? Like I said, just because you're not focusing on the cut, you can work on other things. You can, hone in on different stuff. Like it must have been, a little bit easier in that regard, just because you're focusing more on the MMA stuff and not so much on the dieting and the weight cut.
Yeah. I think that's really crucial to any MMA fighter, any fighter in general. You don't want to be spending 8 weeks focusing and tracking on every calorie that you put in your body, everyone that you've burned. You know what I mean? When you don't have to worry about the weight, you can worry about the tactics and the game plan and what you want to do technically in the cage and how you want the fight to play out instead of, solely, am I going to make weight? Am I going to make weight? I've been there, man. That sucks. That whole camp sucks. And then when you get into the cage, you realize I didn't fucking prepare for this person at all. All I did was prepare for the scale, and then you fail because you have to come up with a game plan on the fly. And at a certain level, that just doesn't work. You can't just go by the seat of your pants. You're going to need to know what you're doing and what you want to do and have like intention in there. So I can only speak to how wonderful it's been for me to be able to focus on skill work and tactics and mindset more than, am I going to make weight? Am I going to cry on the day of weigh-ins because the cut's going to be so hard? I just think at this point in my career, that's a better move for me to worry about tactics and things like that instead of, can I have this piece of bread today?
Yeah. You're the main event of this card. A lot of people are talking about this fight. How is this fight week compared to other fight weeks you've had with the fact that the focus is on you and Kenny headlining this card?
I've been on headlines for Cage Titans before. A fight's a fight to me. I just depends on how late I'm fighting. I would prefer, between you and I, James, to not fight at 12 o'clock at night. But that's the way that it goes. It's so different than any other thing, man. I've always kept the premise that fights are fights no matter where and when they happen. And as long as we're prepared, we're good. So, I think about Kobe Bryant a lot when I prepare for these things, and that confidence comes from preparation. And I've left no stone unturned
You can say whatever you want about my opponent, but I treat every opponent as if they are a world champion. And, I've done that here. And the focus being on me, sure, it's cool. Like it's nice. Like I've done it before, and it's not like it's something that's overwhelming, but it definitely makes me step up to the plate more. My name's on the marquee. It's my brand that's at stake. I have the Madhouse thing that I'm doing. So there's a lot going for me right now. But as far as the fight goes, I love what I do. So a fight is a fight, and I'm damn sure going to enjoy it.
What can fans expect tomorrow night between you and Kenny Champion? How do you see the fight unfolding?
I see me and Kenny, the respectful man that he is. He's going to come out hard and heavy because I know he sees this as an opportunity to beat a UFC veteran. So I think we're going to lock horns pretty quick. It'll be a nice stand-up fight. I really do believe whenever I want to take this fight to the ground, I will and can and finish it. But the fans don't want to see that. They want to see two men hitting each other. So I will oblige them for as long as I see fit. And then if he doesn't fall down, if I head kick him and he decides that he's too tough to fall down, then I'll tackle him and choke him to sleep. But I predict this ends in the early first or second.
Love it. Jay, thanks so much for doing this. We're looking forward to it tomorrow night. You, Kenny Champion, it's going to be a good one. Always appreciate you making time, man. Best luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, James. You look damn good, by the way.
Thank you. I got to show. Listen, you're here. I got to look good, right? It's only appropriate there. So yeah. He can be the Joker. I'll be the guy behind the mic there. So that is Jay Perrin, the other half of the main event. We'll see if we get anyone else here today, but I think that's pretty much it. But man, is this fun? Love doing these Q&As here for Cage Titans. Again, if you can't make it in person, what's wrong with you, first off? But if you can't make it, go watch on Spectation Sports. That's your home for MMA when it comes to everything regional MMA as well. So looks like we've got one more guest here, and if I had to take a guess, I believe it is Tom Santos. So that's going to be our last fighter here, going to be featured on the main card. Again, that main card going down 8:30 Eastern. Don't want to miss that one. So we'll see when our next guest is going to hop on here. Again, post your questions in the chat. Always like hearing from you. And again, I mentioned it there. We do have Tom Santos, our last fighter on the main card. We've talked to everyone else here. It's been really, really, really good here today. So we'll see. We're just getting set up right now and seeing what's going on. Yeah, Tom Santos is the last guy we got here, and happy to be joined by him. Haven't spoken to him before. Tom Santos, and it looks like we have his translator as well. So we'll
him questions and you'll translate just so we can see him.
Okay, I got this. Okay.
But if you want to speak into this, I just don't have the little clip.
Ok, no problem.
Depois você quer olhar.
Ele vai perguntar.
Hello, sir.
E eu pergunto para você aqui.
Tá, já pra cá.
Hello, guys. How are you guys?
Hello. What's your name, sir? Who am I speaking with? I know that's Tom Santos. What's your name?
My name is Jason Costa.
Jason, very, very nice to meet you. So yes, we're very happy to be joined by Tom Santos, who's going to be taking on Miguel Savison tomorrow night. Savison, I should say. Just first and foremost, how excited was Tom to get this opportunity and fight on this card?
Ele perguntou como que tá tá animado para essa luta, como que tá?
Sim.
Qual que é como está se sentindo?
Estou muito bem, estou me sentindo muito bem. Me preparei muito bem, espero que o meu adversário esteja preparado, porque eu estou preparado.
I'm really good. I'm really well prepared. I hope my opponent will be like me, otherwise he's gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. And when did he find out about this fight? How much notice did he get?
Quando foi que você soube da luta que você ia lutar desse evento?
Tá com 2 meses.
2 months ago.
Oh, great. Okay, so more than a full camp there. And did he know much about Miguel before taking this fight, or was he one of those fighters he had to go look up?
Você conheceu já teu oponente ou depois que pegou a luta que você procurou saber quem é?
Depois que eu fiquei sabendo da luta, eu já fui procurar tudo sobre ele.
Actually, after the fight, he started to figure it out who he is.
Okay. That's great. And take me through camp a bit. Who are some of your main training partners helping you get ready for this fight?
Say again, sorry?
I said, who are some of his main training? Who did he get to train with for this fight? Training partners.
Ele perguntou para esse campo, para essa luta aí, quem que foi teus parceiros de treino para essa luta?
Eu treinei com o Fredson, né?
He trained with Fredson, Paixão.
E com o Kennedy.
And with Kennedy.
Okay, great.
Tive uma grande ajuda da equipe Animals.
He had a lot of helps for the animals. This is the teacher that helped him out as well. And there's some animals there with him.
Okay. That's excellent. And in terms of, you fought the who's who. You have a lot of experience compared to your opponent. How much will that pay off in this fight? Just that you've been in there with some of the best fighters.
Ele falou que você tem muita experiência, já lutou com vários caras do
Sim.
mundo assim. E how offer? What? Say again? How
I
offer?
was just saying, like, how much of a benefit has it been that he's been in there with some of the best fighters? He has more experience than his opponent.
Você tem mais experiência que o teu oponente. E qual é o benefício que você tem disso, de ter tanta experiência?
Sim. O benefício que eu tenho é que eu sei aonde que eu devo traçar minha meta lá dentro do octógono.
He said he knows where to trace his path to knock the guy out and to win this match.
That's great. And what is your prediction for tomorrow night? How do you see the fight playing out?
Como que tá o que se espera da luta amanhã? O que você está pensando que vai acabar essa luta?
Eu espero que ele possa realmente vir para porrada, porque eu quero dar show, né? Mas se ele não for vir para porrada, eu posso também estar finalizando ele em dos rounds.
He expected, to show the public what the folks really likes is to exchange punches. He's ready for the war, but he thinks his opponent doesn't hold him. They won't hold him in the standing. Gonna try to take him down, and anyway, gonna have anything he wants for the fight. It's ground game, standing up, it's whatever.
Okay. And my last question.
The expectation is to knock him out in the standing position.
Okay. Yeah, we're looking forward to it tomorrow night. Just my last question. You're 40 years old. You're still competing at a high level. What's your secret? You look great.
Ele falou, você tem 40 anos e você está competindo num alto nível.
Sim.
E qual que é o teu segredo?
Meu segredo é muito Deus no meu coração, família.
My secret is a lot of God in my heart and my family.
E muito amor no que eu faço.
And a lot of love about what he does.
There we go. All right, Tom, thank you so much. We're looking forward to the fight tomorrow night. Cage Titan 70. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom, and your translator.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a nice one. Huh?
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. Let's go, everybody. No stop this fight. Tom Santos champion.
There you go.
There we go. Have a nice one, guys.
There we go. We don't want to miss that one. That's the lightweight fight tomorrow night. Tom Santos taking on Miguel Savison. Really fun fight in the lightweight division. And that's our last fighter here. So we'll see if the general is going to hop on here, Michael Polvier, and see if we're going to be joined by him. Otherwise, I may be closing out the show here. We'll find out. But shout out to Tom Santos for joining us there as the last guy with his translator. I always appreciate fighters doing media when English is not their first language. So that was really awesome there. So yeah, we talked to everyone on the main card for tomorrow night. So just to give you a quick idea about that, we got John Medina taking on Phil the Bambino tomorrow night. We got Jerry Muse taking on Jake Hicksenbaugh. That's going to be a catchweight fight, a rematch there. Welterweight fight tomorrow night. Sterling Meacham taking on Antoine Caparata. Tom Santos, who we just talked to there, taking on Miguel Savison. And we got Jean Patrick taking on Joe Poirier. That's going to be a really good fight in a catchweight of 130. So you definitely want to go check that one out too. And then, of course, the main event, really exciting one. We've got Jay Perrin, the former UFC bantamweight, moving up to the featherweight division, going to be taking on the Cage Titans OG champion, Kenny Champion, who of course is coming off that 48-second win over Greg Jones at the Cage Titans. I was at 69. Yeah, I think it was the last Cage Titan event that we had. So Kenny Champion looking to continue that momentum. Can he get the biggest win of his career taking on Jay Perrin? We will have to find out there. So yeah, we're just waiting to see what's going on here. Looks like we do have the boss man here going to be joining us, which is always great. Always love talking to him. You see, I get to talk to him before the show, but you guys don't get to see any of this. But he's one of our favorites here. Just waiting for him to change his username to the General, and then we'll I won't say Tom Santos on the screen here. So we'll get him to do that, and then unless he wants me to bring him on, and we can just have the Tom Santos side. There we go. Got it all set up here. Happy to be joined by the man behind Cage Titans, Michael Polvier. Mike, thanks for joining us here on Live with Lynch.
Hey man, how's it going? This is awesome. The last few shows we've been doing this, I think it's
so much fun, right? Like, especially on the fly. Like, and these guys are great. I got to give them full marks. It's always tough to cut weight and then do media after, but you wouldn't know it with a lot of these fighters. So a lot of fighters here professional when it comes to the weight cutting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to say that all fights are on. Everybody, made weight. Everything's good to go. So all 17 fights are, locked and loaded.
That's good. Let's work our way down from this card just quickly, talk a few things about each fight, and then anything else you got coming up Cage Titans-wise, we'll do that after. But I love this main event. We got Kenny Champion, really, really great win in his last fight, getting that OG title, taking out Greg Jones, and then Jay Perrin finding new life at 45. What do you make of this matchup? Really good fight for both guys in terms of the opportunities at hand with a victory.
Yeah, this fight was, very interesting. Kenny Champion just fought for the OG belt, but he made it clear, like, up until this point, he's never looked at himself as like a 40+ competitor. You know, he's not entering the Masters division. And when I offered the title fight to him, he's like, listen, Mike, I'll do it because you're offering, and I guess my age makes sense. But he's like, no disrespect to anybody. I want to be in the real 45 division. Like, I want to fight for the Cage Titans featherweight title. So he went out and handled his business and did what he kind of said he was going to do. He made quick work of Greg Jones, and immediately afterwards was like, all right, I want, you know, like Tom Pags and, you know, the title fight, Don Shanis. I want those guys. I want to see where I stack up. And this fight just aligned perfectly. Jay Perrin's at a new weight class. He's trying to really establish himself there. And he was in the commentary booth for Kenny Champion. And when this name kind of came up, it was, yeah, let's go. Like, let's see where Kenny really is. And Jay's kind of like, all right, you know, I was in the UFC. I'd like to get back. Am I going to be a local fighter from now on, or can I make another run? So yeah, ton on the line for both these guys.
And then probably one of my favorite fights on the card, Joe Poirier out of the New England Cartel taking on John Patrick. I want to know, how did you find John Patrick? Obviously, trains at Chutebox in Brazil. A little bit of some miles to get out here. I think 15 hours was what the travel time was. But how did that even come together with you getting him as an opponent? I was curious about that.
Yeah, so this fight was great. I mean, we've had a lot of you know, good results working with some of the fighters from Brazil. I've been to Rio before with Johnny Cupcakes, cornered him in a fight. So we've had some good luck with the Brazilians, and you know, I have good relationship with some people, and actually, I try to be quick. I was trying to be quick, but I'm going to give you the long-winded. Another Brazilian fighter from this manager's team took the fight, and then they were like, "Oh, can we move it up a weight class?" And then I was like, "Sure." We moved it up from 25 to 35, and then immediately it was the next hour. It was like, "Nah, he's out." It was the quickest in 15 years of doing this, the quickest acceptance in non-acceptance of a fight ever. It was just wild. It was like, all right, was he just trying to move the weight to get out of the fight instead of just saying no? But anyways, the manager said to me, I got this guy, Gene Patrick. You know, he's had a hard time finding fights. He has so many Muay Thai battles. You know, his one of his best friends is Charles Oliveira. And, you know, he's had a hard time finding fights. He'll do it. No questions asked. And, you know, hats off to Joey Poirier, because, you know, Joe Poirier went through the whole Ultimate Fighter process, and he made it pretty far in this past season. So he's on the UFC radar, and he could have probably cherry-picked an opponent that pick up a nice, easy win and maybe go back to the UFC and say, hey, get me on the Contender. You know, I knocked another guy out. But they put the challenge to me, get me a hard fight, and that's how this kind of came to fruition.
Yeah, big implications for both. I know Jean looking for that first win in North America. I think last time he was here, it didn't go his way. And then just a couple other fights. I mean, we don't have to go through all of them, but, you know, just talk to Tom Santos. This is, you know, Mr. I'll Fight Anyone. You look at who he's been in the cage with, Don Shanis, Peter Barrett, taking on Miguel Savison. Just your thoughts on this lightweight fight, kind of an interesting one with the veteran taking on sort of the up-and-comer.
Oh, man, I mean, this fight, so it's hard for people to realize because, you know, Tom Santos has had a rough going in his 3 fights with Cage Titans. You know, Peter Barrett, Zach DiSabatino, and Don Shanis, 2 guys, ex-UFC guys, and DSAB, who's 11-4. He's had a tough go, but this guy's fought Darren Cruikshank. He's got some great fights on his resume. He was a champion in Japan, like, and multiple champion in other promotions around the world. We've seen glimpses. Like, you look at a guy like Peter Barrett, who's a striker, and he had to take Tom Santos down. It tells me that this guy's got something special in his hands because everybody is kind of taking him down. Miguel Savison, he's not taking anybody down. We joke with Miguel Savison all the time. It's like, do you do anything like the parry a shot or dodge it, or you just block everything with your face? He's the guy that's like, I'm going to eat 2 punches to land 1. It's super exciting for the fans, but I don't know if that's a super exciting style to be, you know, trading shots with Tom Santos. When you see people trade shots with him, they get hurt and they shoot for takedowns. So that fight, a lot of people would probably come in heavy on Miguel as the undefeated amateur. I just think styles make fights, and we have a recency bias to seeing Tom Santos kind of lose at Cage Titans, but it's upper echelon guys. A win here for Tom kind of shows, hey, listen, young buck. Don't be you know, fooled by my past performances. And on the opposite side of Savison, it's like, hey, listen, I know I'm young in the career. I can get in there with these veterans and beat them. I think it's huge for both guys. Fun fact. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And Tom Santos his wife is flying in from Brazil, first time to be in the United States. And she's going to be here cheering him on. So I think there's going to be a little extra emotional push for Tom in this one.
Got to win in front of the wife, right? That's a big one. One fight. There's obviously we have a couple other fights on the main card. We got a bunch on the amateur, on the prelims as well, a bunch of amateur fights. But I really like this Jake Hixenbaugh and this Jerry Amius fight. The rematch. Obviously, Jerry had the skit sort of announcing the fight. They fought already. Kind of like a fun match that worked out with the fact that Jake's original opponent was out. This must have been a fun one that you were able to put together.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Okay. It was tough to put together. Let's hear it.
It was fun because I think it makes a ton of sense for both guys. In different circumstances, maybe this rematch doesn't happen. For whatever reason, Jerry kind of moved on with his career and he was fighting for titles and main events. It's like, why would I go back? And I say that respectfully to Hicks. Like, why would I go back and fight a guy that I've already beaten? And as for Hicks, it's like, Jerry beat me in the second round. He finished me. Like, do I really deserve a rematch? The fact that Hixenbaugh's opponent pulled out at the last minute was a saving grace that kind of made these stars align. Why I say it wasn't fun is Jerry's an active military guy. So I'm trying to make this fight and on a week's notice. He doesn't know if he can he's actually in classroom doing retraining. He's sending me pictures of him like loading his gun. He's like, dude, I'm in, but I need to know the details. I got to figure this out. So I got to give credit to both guys though, because he's dealing with that. Then I'm like, can you get on a scale? He's like, dude, where I'm at, I don't have a scale. Like, what weight class? And then in Jerry fashion, he texts me. He's like, all right, I'm in. I still don't know what weight class, because if I can get next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it will be an easy weight cut if I can get those days off to 55. But if I can't and I have to be on base, I'll have to do it at 65. And now I got to go to Hicks and be like, yeah, can you float between 55 and 65? It's Monday of fight week and I can't tell him weight class. And then when Jerry was like, also, I'm in, but one more thing has to come into place. If my dancers can't come to walk me out, I'm not taking the fight. He goes, the fans expect something cool from me and I can't just do a generic walkout. So I got to come up with a walkout and make sure my dances are good to go. And then he wouldn't let us announce the fight unless I promised to record that skit with him. Jerry is one of a kind. And then I got Hicks on the other side being like, I like that Jerry's like so relaxed, but Hicks is the opposite. He's intense. He's like, I need to effing know what this weight class is. Like, stop playing games. And he's like, I need to know. I'm driving 10 hours from New York. Like, I'm glad it's come together though.
When are we doing this again? When's the next Cage Titans event? Obviously, all the focus is on tomorrow. We talked about it. Unless there's anything else you wanted to mention about tomorrow night's show, but I also want to say anything we got coming up on the horizon. I know you always throw a teaser or two out here when we do these.
Oh, yes. So we have 3 huge fights that we're going to be announcing on Saturday night. So make sure you tune in. Expectation Sports, if you don't have tickets to be inside this venue. I wanted to do the interviews this way so you guys can kind of see the beauty of this venue. It really is great, but yeah, May 24th. Like this
better. I think it looks cool, by the way. I just got to mention that. I think it looks great.
Nice. I appreciate that. That was, thank you for bearing with me when I was trying to get it set up, but the long and the short of it, May 25th, obviously we have tomorrow night, but we got 3 huge fights that we're going to be announcing. Everybody always says I give away a secret. So fine, I'll give you one. It's only a couple people watching. I'll give you the 3 names of people that we're going to be announcing. I'm not going to tell you who the opponents are, but Andrew Valdina will be announced. Actually, both of our commentaries. So Hillary Rose and Andrew Valdina will be commentating tomorrow night on Spectation Sports. And at intermission, we're announcing both of their fights. And then Big Jack Congdon, he's also going to be getting his fight announced. Jack Congdon was told by the UFC, similar to Joe Poirier, like he made it through the interview process for the Ultimate Fighter. And basically he was told, like, get one more win and, we'll take a look at you and maybe bring you in for the contender. So it's a huge fight for Jack Congdon as well. And I will say this, none of them are setup fights. Jack Congdon, in a situation where he knows he only needs one and he's going to get on the contender, he said, get me the toughest guy you can find. So, and I think I found that. So we got 3 huge fights for you guys that we're going to be announcing for May.
Okay, there we go. Oh, so for May. Nice. That was the
May.
date I was waiting for. I was like, when are we going to do this?
May
again?
24th. Oh, okay. May 24th. May 24th.
Yeah, there we go.
May
we go. Okay,
24th.
cool. I'll be clearing my calendar. I always love doing. Hey, Mike, I say this every stream, but thank you for. I'm so glad we get to do this every couple months. It's a lot of fun. I know the fighters like it too. So kudos to you and everyone there. It's a lot of fun for me to be able to do this all the time before the big cards. So got to mention that.
Man,
Anything else
I
you wanna
appreciate.
mention before we get out of here? Sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate. I was gonna say I appreciate you guys. You know, and especially you. You know, much of what we all do, what people don't realize, is we do this for the love. From the fighters to journalists like yourself, like, you know, we either probably all have day jobs and we do this because we love it. And you know, the time and effort that you put in, all the interviews I see you putting out there. You know, so hats off to you. Hats off to the Spectation team. So I appreciate that. But I got nothing else. If you don't have tickets, you can go to cagetitans.com to get your tickets, or Spectation Sports always has you covered. Make sure you don't fall for any scam links. Spectation Sports is the only
on
place
Facebook, yeah.
to watch. Yeah, Facebook, you're gonna get scammed. But that's it, man. I appreciate your time, and that's it.
There we go. All right, I guess we'll play the intro to get us out of here, and or you want me to just end it?
No, let's we'll play the end stream. We'll ask you to play the outro. We're gonna break down this stage, and we're gonna be back in about 20 minutes, and we're gonna do the official ceremonial weigh-in. So tune in, guys.
There we go.
If you're still watching. Thank
Tune
you.
in. All right, sounds good.
Whoa, that's me.